here's my political rant for the day. There is this phrase that people on the left keep saying when they keep saying Donald Trump and his rich friends or Donald Trump and his billionaire friends. It's so disingenuous. Now, keep in mind, if this were being said on the other side, I would have the same complaint. Okay. I am not someone who is like loyal to any party. I don't think we should be. I've expressed that a million times, but I do think the Democratic Party is a sinking ship right now. And there's a couple things, actually, there's a plethora of things, a whole load of things that they're doing that has destroyed their party, a once respectable party, right? One of them is this idea, it's a very socialist, Marxist ideology where they are constantly trying to point fingers to the other side and say, those are the rich people that are bad and they don't care about the little guy. And, you know, they are the classist people. It's Donald Trump and all of his billionaire friends. Did we forget? Here's where cognitive dissonance comes in, and like, people tend to get amnesia for some reason. One of the things that really turned me off from the party was like the constant lies. Like I was always fact checking on my own and I was like, oh, that was a lie. This is not real. This idea that the people on the right are like the bad rich people and the people on the left are like the people they're advocating for the working class is just so inaccurate. Did you see how much money Kamala Harris raised for her presidential run, for her campaign? I think it was like $1.2 billion in a week, if I'm not mistaken, maybe shorter than that. So when these people who are politicians on the left, when they're constantly saying Donald Trump and his rich friends, are they talking about Taylor Swift, who's a billionaire, who endorsed Kamala? Are they talking about Beyonce, who came out? Or are they talking about all the multimillionaires that supported Kamala and came out to perform? Are they talking about Bill Gates? Are they like, who are these rich people? They're acting as if they are not the party of the rich.
Facts. That's a fact. And it's so funny because it's the classic crabs in the barrel mentality where they basically is dangling a carrot off of the scraps of the table. Congress continues to get paid and they hang out with the who's who and the elite, and they actually live right next to all of the people that they say that they despise. And they work with all of them behind the scenes and all of that. But their job to stay in power is to convince you that those are the bad people, even though we millionaires right now too. And they've even changed it from being and their millionaire friends to their billionaire friends. And these people just run it up. Nancy Pelosi, all of them got money. All of them maintain power. All of them is Ilhan Omar was just under attack, or that got swept under the rug right after that for how rich her husband is since she's been in Congress and since she's been advocating for the poor. And while they over there taking over Minneapolis, don't believe none of this nonsense. They playing in y'all face, bro.
You look at their voter base, coastal elites are people that have money.
Yep.
Go and look at the map where most of the places were blue was like on the coast. Martha's Vineyard, New York City, Los Angeles. Yep. Obviously, not all people in those areas have money, but a lot of them do. Okay. The majority of the people that support the Democrats, look at Hollywood, not all, because there's a lot of closeted conservatives who are in Hollywood who don't want to not be allowed to live out their dreams for fear of being shunned by the mob, right? Absolutely. On the left. And so they just really keep quiet about their beliefs. But the ones who are very loud, a lot of people in Hollywood who are these very, very wealthy people, a lot of people in the tech industry. You guys, let's use our heads here. Why do they keep repeating that it's Donald Trump and his rich friends as if they are not also the people with rich friends, right? Well, the intent is to make you believe that they have your back, that they are like you, that they understand you. Have you taken a look at what Barack Obama's salary was and what he's worth? Have you taken a look at the fact that Obama's collecting residual pay for Obamacare? Does that not odd to you? What about Nancy Pelosi? What is her annual salary and how much is she worth? Well, we all know she's insider trading, right? A lot of them are, or they're funneling through NGOs, right? There's a lot of corruption and fraud happening in the government. What is Kamala Harris's salary? How much is she worth? So when Kamala is constantly saying those rich people over there, we're going to tax the rich, or Bernie Sanders is constantly saying or AOC, we're going to tax the rich, you're going to tax yourself? Is that who you're talking about? All your rich donors? This is why Donald Trump's debate with Hillary Clinton was so impactful and so effective for his campaign. Because people don't quite, Dave Chappelle shared this about like people not understanding why Donald Trump won and why he's so popular. It was because people perceived him as authentic, because he was one of the few people, he's not a politician at all. He's one of the few people who we've ever seen run for presidency who is like so like overtly blunt and truthful in that moment that people were like, oh, we like this guy because he gets it, right? He's not a politician. Donald Trump is a class traitor. In essence, you know, if you look back, I have a long enough memory to remember when everybody loved Donald Trump. This is why this whole everybody hates Donald Trump is such a weird thing to me, that I'm just like this. I have we all gotten amnesia suddenly? Hillary Clinton, they were all golfing with Donald Trump. Oprah Winfrey loved him. He was on Oprah's show. Oprah even suggested that he run for president like years ago. And Donald Trump, like there's a famous interview he does with Oprah where she's like, you're sounding very presidential. Will you ever run? I mean, all these people on The View, Barbara Walters, Whoopi Goldberg, all these people are hugging him and praising him, and they loved him. And every rapper, he was always like a staple in the black community because he was donating to Jesse Jackson's campaign to run for president. He was, I mean, there's documentation of Jesse Jackson thanking him for his donations. Jennifer Hudson, when her family went through that like tragedy, Donald Trump put them up and, you know, and gave them a place to live. There's so many examples. All the rappers loved him. You know, when people started, I had to ask myself, when did people start hating Donald Trump? Oh, when he ran as a Republican and he came out and said he was going to drain the swamp.
Facts. And basically they orchestrated and marketed a campaign to make it seem like he was actually the bad guy when he was the person clearly that he's always been, and he's always been trying to focus on trying to fix what's going on and what's wrong with America. But because he went against the establishment and he didn't play his role, and thankfully he was able to buck against the establishment and still win, and now he's draining the swamp. All of a sudden it's Donald Trump and his rich friends, when all the rich friends is on the Democrat side, to be honest with you.
He debated against Hillary Clinton, and when she did the whole you don't pay taxes, and he said, well, you don't either. Like if you don't like the loopholes that I'm using, get rid of them. But you won't, because you and your friends are also using them. Like it was so real. Like, so when they are constantly saying they don't like him, it's because Donald Trump has in their mind betrayed his other rich friends on the left. And so when they are constantly trying to get you to like, oh, he's a bad guy and all this stuff, they're doing the same things. Okay. They always have been. And so it's so strange to me when they're constantly saying that the right is the party of the rich that we must conquer. And it's like, have you seen Gavin Newsom's latest $9 million home purchase on his $107,000 or $200,000 a year salary? Guys, the math doesn't math. Don't try to make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay. If you still think,
or JB Pritzker,
that the Democratic politicians on the left are not also rich with rich friends, you're not paying attention.
I know more rich Democrats than I do rich Republicans. Most Republicans that I know are actually solidly middle class, have figured out that they no longer want to subject themselves to the Democrat plantation, and they want the best for their family. Their values and their views are different, and that's what makes them conservative. It has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with resources. They value hard work, but more importantly, they value doing the right thing in order to get there. Most of the people that I know, even my friends that have a significant amount of money, they are Democrat. That's just the facts. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I always like to link back to the people that's inside of the chat that I rock with. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me know what y'all think.